words. Now, we know how important a horse race is, and we know how important a racehorse is, and there's nothing quite like being able to call a racehorse that's so talented. And if you get that pleasure, there is certainly moments and memories that are formed. Our next inductee was owned and bred by Kinghaven Farms and was a popular high-percentage winner and a frequent champion, who enjoyed a career season in 1988 as Canada's champion sprinter, following a runner-up finish in the Breeders' Cup Sprint, and also champion older horse and Horse of the Year. The Canadian Horse Racing Hall of Fame is proud to induct Play the King.
Bred and owned by Kinghaven Farms of King City, Ontario, Play the King was conditioned throughout his 4-year race career by dual Hall of Fame trainer Roger Attfield. Starting in 29 races, Play the King made 19 trips to the winner's circle and earned just shy of $1 million. Play the King stakes success began at age 4 with a win in the Toboggan Handicap at Aqueduct, and was followed by wins in the CHRHOF, Vigil Handicap, and the Toronto Budweiser Breeders' Cup Handicap at Woodbine, as well as wins in the Highlander Handicap, the Suffolk Sprint in Boston, and finally the Nearctic Stakes, to earn the 1987 Sovereign Award for Champion Older Horse and Champion Sprinter. The following year brought repeat wins in the Nearctic Stakes and the Toronto Budweiser Breeders' Cup Handicap. Play the King offered his most compelling effort in the Breeders' Cup Sprint at Churchill Downs.
On the outside, Play the King is charging hard. Gulch is right there. Gulch emerging with the lead. Play the King. It's Gulch. Play the King. Here's the wire. And Gulch has won it.
A strong 49-1 second place finish contributed to Play the King being named the Sovereign Award winner as Champion Sprinter, Older Horse, and Horse of the Year in 1988.
Making the presentation is Ian Black, longtime farm manager at Kinghaven Farms and a successful trainer. Accepting is Jay Wilmot, son of David and Susan Wilmot of Kinghaven Farms.
Hi, Jay. Hi. I saw you want to scoot away there, but you couldn't. You had to stay here with me.
I couldn't escape.
All right, congratulations. A couple questions for you. The late 80s and early 90s were highly successful times for Kinghaven Farms with a Horse of the Year title for Play the King and Triple Crown successes for With Approval and Izvestia. My question for you is, what stands out about that remarkable time?
Well, admittedly, I was pretty young when that happened. Ironically, we'd actually divested our breeding stock in 1988 and went on to have 4 Canadian Horses of the Year within the next 7 years. I remember at that age, I would wake up and it seemed like every year I'd see, on the front page of the Star and the sports section, it's like Kinghaven wins the Queen's Plate, Kinghaven wins the Triple Crown. It took me a long time to figure out that that just doesn't happen every year.
Excellent point. Excellent point. All right. Most of the special Kinghaven runners were blessed with remarkable class and stamina, but Play the King had outstanding velocity to become a sprint champion after his excellent runner-up finish in the 88 Breeders' Cup Sprint behind Gulch at Churchill Downs. What do you recall about that specific great performance?
So King was an interesting horse. I was actually talking to Ian just before this, and when he was really young, Ian described him as a bit of a klutz, actually. But when he decided that he wanted to run, he sure was fast. And, I mean, he fractured his leg in 1987. He was supposed to be the favorite in the Breeders' Cup Sprint that year. Had to pull out, rehab. Roger Attfield performed a miracle over the coming season, and at 48-1, he managed to come second. And it was really incredible. I mean, our whole family was thrilled. I mean, he's still probably my mother's favorite horse of our entire history. And there were only 2 horses that have a place on our farm that are still buried there, and there is Vestia and Play the King.
All right, great. And finally, what made stables great in those days were outstanding achievements against fierce rivals. For Kinghaven, that meant competing against their arch rival Samson Farms. What do you recall about that special rivalry?
I think I'd describe that rivalry as probably frenemies, if I could come up with a proper word. Ernie Samuel and my grandfather Bud were great friends. My father David eulogized Mr. Samuel at his funeral. Both of our programs were really, really proud of our homebreds. So we like to race against each other, and we sure like beating each other.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you so much. All right. Congratulations.